Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the campus of Piedmont International University, home of the Bruins, as we have a doubleheader tonight, starting first with the Lady Bruins, 20-4 on the season, though they are playing their third game in 3 days. We'll talk more about that one a little bit later on tonight. A little bit of a special night as well on the women's side, as we have senior night, and the lone senior on the team, Sophie Barnes, will be honored before the game, and as probably after the game as well. We'll talk more about her coming up here in just a little bit. With the Lady Bruins tonight, Coach Money talking to us about the opportunity this team still has in front of them to make the regionals and then win 3 more games down the stretch. The Mustangs on the other side, they're 8-17 on the season. The first meeting between these two is very, very contentious. Seeing some of those bad feelings and boil over here tonight in the rematch here in Winston-Salem. First now, we're going to pause though to hear our pregame prayer as well as the national anthem, and then we'll take a look at the starting lineups on the other side after this.
I bring it back. I'm running on the fast break behind the back. Yeah, this that penny with the shack.
If he's passing me the rock, it might not get it back. They never gave a hand, now they wanna give me that. I don't know where you been. I got fear of God, ain't no fear of man. These them air minios, yeesh, need a pair of them.
LA, man, I feel like magic. LA, in the traffic. West side for the vacation. Yeah, Westbrook on the isolation.
Yeah. So New York City gotta keep it Mickey Mantle, the bubble jacket with the piffy winkle camo, From Argentina, it's a military issue, And Lloyd said don't mix the pitbull with the shit, so don't do it.
I just threw it off the backboard. Game winner, I'm the one they asked for. Magic,
bird,
magic,
bird,
magic,
bird,
magic,
bird,
magic,
bird,
magic,
bird.
magic.
Yeah, 4th grade teacher said he need medication.
4 shows, 5 days, I need meditation.
6 deep, Peter Luger made the reservation.
Pass the check right here, no hesitation.
Spotify to show the kid love. I'm like, what a week. Everybody trying to get my plug number for the years. I told my love, baby, we should leave. Then we go and get the pho, that's that Vietnamese. Yeah, so shout out all the single mothers, 2 jobs, 3 kids. I call that a triple-double, call plays in the huddle. God, I'm in trouble. Shorties want me sub 'em in, and they sure ain't being subtle.
Well, now the hometown kids finally took the tour foreign. I don't never ever chase dreams, man, I stalk them.
Just about ready for game number 1 here tonight in Winston-Salem, again on the campus of Piedmont International University. Again, we mentioned it is senior night here tonight on the campus of PIU, and the Lady Bruins with 1 senior in the lineup tonight. It is Sophie Barnes, so we're going to actually take the pregame presentation of the senior night festivities here for you. So we'll step aside and let you hear in as Sophie Barnes, the lone senior on this team, is honored before the tip-off here tonight.
Family never photo. We're good. Thank you guys. All right, let's go, Lady Bruins.
There you have it, Sophie Barnes being honored before today's game. Kind of a special story for her. Only joined the team as we get set to start the second half of the season. Already came to Piedmont as a junior. From a credit standpoint, graduating in less than 2 years after being homeschooled before that. She'll be in the starting lineup as we take a look at the lineups here tonight. First for the Lady Bruins, who will be at home. The 1 change in the lineup, like we mentioned, Sophie Barnes into the starting lineup, replacing Amaya Scott, who suffered a scary injury on Thursday, but is going to be available to play, although on a little bit of a minutes restriction tonight, which is good to see. That was a scary moment for her, but glad to see that she's okay. She'll play tonight, but come off the bench And Barnes will be in the backcourt alongside number 1, Ashley Lane. Number 4, Sophie Barnes, like we mentioned, in the starting lineup. And then the rest of the starting lineup the same as it's been for most of the season, including number 20, Monifa Engel, number 22, Arian Rumpf, and number 24, Zanaya Kessler. On the other side today for the Mustangs from Mid-Atlantic Christian University, they are 8-17 on the season under head coach Charles Troxel, coming off a loss to Bluefield State that was back on Saturday afternoon. Their starting lineup tonight will be number 3, Amanda Lemons, the 5'6" freshman, number 10, Alexis Harris, a 5'7" freshman, number 12, Aaliyah McNeil, a 5'4" sophomore, number 22, Tiara Lester, a 6' senior, and then Talithia Alexander, a 5'2" junior, in the starting lineup today for this Mustangs team. Again, like we talked about, the Bruins still with an opportunity to play their way into some postseason action. If they can pick up some wins down the stretch, they would need 3 of them over the final 2 weeks of this regular season in order to get themselves into some postseason play, and they have a golden opportunity here tonight playing against a team that they've already beaten once this season. Would love an opportunity to make it 2 for 2 here today. The visitors, the Mustangs from Mid-Atlantic Christian University, are in the road green uniforms trimmed in the orange with the white gradiated colors out there, very similar to what you would see for the Miami Hurricanes. Uniforms rather, if you're a college football or major college basketball fan. On the other side for the Bruins, and the home whites trimmed in the powder blue with the gray trim. They'll move from right to left in this first half across your radio dial, computer screen, smartphone, tablet, TV screen, however you're accessing us tonight on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live. Again, I'm Dave Shook here at courtside. Mason Cox is our engineer. The ball is set to go up in the air. The tap is won by nobody, and it will go out of bounds. Last touch off of the Mustangs, and the Bruins will have the opening possession. Again, the Bruins moving from right to left will have the basketball. Ashley Lane will handle the point guard duties. Again, Amaya Scott will come off the bench tonight after she was injured in the loss on Thursday, did not play on Saturday, as Lane will tee up the opening shot. A three-pointer from the wing is up and good. Ashley Lane breaks the scoring ice in the opening possession, and the Bruins have an early 3-0 lead, as now the Mustangs will get their first opportunity with the basketball. Little 3-2 zone to start things out defensively for the Bruins, and Lane gets a deflection, knocks it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Mustangs, moving from left to right in this opening half. So again, Mustangs with the basketball as Aaliyah McNeil will handle the point guard duties. Into the corner for Alexis Harris. Harris wearing number 10 as they come to the top for Lemons and reverse the ball to the far wing for Alexander. Fires a long 3 that hits off the glass. Long rebound, though, comes right back into the hands of Lemons. And now Alexander and Lemons play catch side to side. Reach in and a knockaway by Lane. Steal come to Sophie Barnes. Lane, nice lead ahead for Kessler, who lays it off the window and in. So good job running the break that time for the Bruins, who get their second field goal, and they've got an early 5-0 lead in this one. As the Mustangs back the other way, looking for their first points of the game. Good entry pass down low for Lester, but traveled with a basketball as she tried to pivot underneath the rim. And the ball will go back over to the Bruins with 8:55 left to play in this opening quarter, and the Bruins with an early 5-0 lead. So now it's the Bruins with the basketball as Ashley Lane staring at this 2-3 zone for the Mustangs. Kicks it in the corner for Rumpf. Tries to drive it along the baseline to Lane. Skip pass, far wing. Open 3 on the way for Kessler. Hits off the front of the rim. Tracks down her own miss. Gets it to Barnes in the lane. Barnes tried to bank it. No good. Third chance opportunity is no good for Rumpf. But she was fouled and had the ball knocked away, and she'll get to the free throw line. So Sophie Barnes had an opportunity to score on senior night as the starter in this game. Just couldn't get it to stay down. Rumpf, though, able to clean up the miss and will get herself to the line, looking to get her first points of the night. First free throw off the front of the rim, though. So one more for the 5'10 freshman, who's done a really nice job this season carving out space in the paint for herself and has become a real threat for this team under the basket. Makes 1 of 2 at the free throw line and a 6-0 run to start the game for the Bruins as they lead it 6-0, 8:27 left to play in this first half. Or in this first quarter, I should say. Good job getting it to the middle of this zone defense that time by the Mustangs. Bruins defense collapses, though, forces a long 3 from McNeil. It's off to the right, and a rebound taken away by Monifa Engel, and the Bruins will come back the other way looking to extend this lead as Lane walks it into the forecourt. Bruins in control of this one. Get it to the high post area for Rumpf. Backing her way down. Little hook shot is up and in. Probably could have called the foul as well, but Rumpf with a good little right-handed hook shot from the low block on the far side of the floor. And it's 8-0 in the early going here as the Mustangs try another long three from Alexander that's off the mark. Bruins want to run back the other way as Lane stops at the top of the key. Now we'll back away as the Mustang defense is back and settles back into this 2-3 zone. Lane steps up to the top of the key, finds Kessler on the far wing. Around the screen from Rump, pulls up free throw line jumper. Off the mark, off to the left. Long rebound, tapped right out to Lane. Fires a three from the wing. It's a little bit short, and the rebound taken away by Lemons. Mustangs will come back the other way. Still looking for their first points. More than 2 minutes into this ball game. Open three on the way from the wing is no good for Harris. And the rebound taken away by the Bruins, who want to push back the other way. Lane, though, will keep things at a slower pace to start this first quarter as we hit the 7-minute mark as Lane finds Kessler on the far wing. Not a lot of pressure being applied in this 2-3 zone, but the Mustangs able to come up with a steal as Lemons came up with the loose ball, tripped at the midcourt stripe, able to shovel it off to Harris, who drives inside. Short jumper from 8 feet out is no good. Second chance opportunity no good for Lester on the weak side rebound, and the loose ball taken away by the Bruins. Still 8-0 with 6:40 to play in this opening quarter. Lane slowly walks it into the forecourt, finds Barnes into the corner for Angle. Back to Lane, reverse the ball back to the far side for Rump. Will tee up an open three from the corner. A little bit short, rebound tapped around. Rump comes out of there with it. And now a reset of the shot clock and a second chance opportunity for the Bruins. Angle will fire a three, and that's up and through. Monifa Angle knocks down the three, and it's an 11-0 lead early on in the ball game with 6:15 left to play in this first quarter. 11-0 is the score. Just a 30-second timeout for Coach Troxel and the Mustangs, so we will keep it here. But a great start certainly for the Bruins. Really balanced in the score sheet as well, as among these 11 points, 4 different scorers. 3 points for Ashley Lane, 3 for Angle, 3 for Rump, and now 2 for Kessler as well. So the Bruins with even distribution throughout the score sheet in the early going in this one. And Coach Money's got to be thrilled with both ends of the floor right now, as the Bruins have also held this Mid-Atlantic Christian team without a point through the first nearly 4 minutes. 6:15 still to play in this first quarter. Out of the timeout, it will be Mid-Atlantic basketball as they move from left to right. McNeil again handling the point guard duties. Moves it into the corner for Harris. Lob it down low. Good catch by Lester. Layup is off the mark. Rebound scrambled for. Lemons comes out of there with it. Kicks it to the far wing. An open three on the way is a little bit short for Harris. Another long rebound comes down to Lester, who puts up the floater. That's no good. Rebounded by McNeil. Fourth shot opportunity still wouldn't go down, and the rebound to Angle and the Bruins. Lane pushes it into the forecourt. Has a little bit of trouble with the handle. Now picks it back up as the Mustangs settle back into their 2-3 zone. The Bruins have been getting good shots off of this to this point. His Angle in the corner already has 1-3. Skips it to Barnes just to the left of the free throw line. That's no good. Rebound battled for, taken away by the Mustangs. Back the other way in transition as Lemons goes 2-on-2, finds McNeil. Trying to come back to the top of the key. Pass deflected and stolen by Kessler. Kessler's going to go in 1-on-1 against McNeil. Pushes it up off the window. No good. Offensive rebound. Put back. No good, but a foul. Good job by Ashley Lane running the floor on the break in transition. And the ball finds her on the miss, and she'll get herself to the free throw line. So it'll be Lane at the line. Bruins 1 of 2 as a team in the first quarter with 5:12 to play. Lane with 3 points in the game, rattles the first one in. Makes it 12-0, and the run continues for the Bruins. Substitutions for both sides as Barnes will get a seat. Charlotta Hackett the first off the bench for this Bruins team. And Kanisha Murray into the game for the first time for the Mustangs. Second free throw no good, and the aforementioned Murray clears the board for the Mustangs. A little bit of defensive pressure applied by the Bruins. Able to break it, though, are the Mustangs as Lemons banks into three from the near wing. First points of the game for the Mustangs. Makes it 12-3 with 4:50 to play in this first quarter. Ashley Lane, top of the key. Looking for somewhere to go with the basketball. Moves it into the corner for Angle. Comes back to the top for Lane. Gets it to Rump. Pulls up at the free throw line. Jumper off the back of the rim. No. Hackett battling for the rebound. Couldn't pull it in, but able to tap it into the hands of Rump, who saves it. Now a second chance opportunity for the Bruins. Skip pass near side. Kessler fires a three from the wing. It's up and through. Zanaya Kessler. Second three as a team. Third three as a team for the Bruins in this first quarter, who lead at 15-3. Again, a little bit more defensive pressure applied by the Bruins. And then the Mustangs throw it away on an unforced error. Lemon's not able to handle the pass under the basket. And the Bruins again control the basketball, this time with a 12-point lead. 15-3 is our score, with 4:05 to play in this first quarter. Lane spins across the free throw line. Far wing three on the way for Angle. That's no good. Hackett went right over the top and grabs the rebound and is going to be whistled for an over-the-back foul. So Hackett doing extra work trying to corral that miss, but is whistled for the foul. Just the first on the team, and the first on her as well. Double team coming on Lemons, moves it into the corner, then cutting down the lane for Murray. Murray shut off on the baseline, had her pass deflected. Mustangs able to save the possession, though, as ball finds Alexander from the far wing. A three is no good, and then a second chance opportunity for Murray. Got the shot deflected inside by Rumpf. Lane back the other way in transition. Good little up and under move, and the layup is up and through for Ashley Lane. Second field goal for the freshman Ashley Lane, who has 6, and the lead is 14 at 17-3. Again, a little bit more pressure in the forecourt for the Bruins defensively, trying to trap those wings. As McNeil on the far wing to the top for Lemons. Near side for Harris. Drives it to the baseline, shut off there, tries to move it inside for Murray. Ball went right between her legs, though, and the loose ball picked away by the Bruins. Rumpf in transition, tries to push it ahead to Lane. Lemons back, though, gets the deflection and the steal. Now a 2-on-2 opportunity for this Mustangs team. Lemons will pull up for three and fire away and knock it down. 6 points in the game for Lemons, all 6, in fact, for the Mustangs, and it's 17-6 with 2:40 to play in this first quarter. Now we're going to get a whistle and a timeout. Just an official's timeout that will allow the substitutions. As Alicia Cumberbatch checking in for the first time for the Bruins. And she'll replace Zanaya Kessler. Around the screen, Rumpf driving it inside, puts up the floater with a right hand that bounces off the rim. Hackett in there for the rebound. Cumberbatch comes out of there with it, forces it back up. No whistle, no basket, but a foul call. And Alicia Cumberbatch will get herself to the free throw line. So Cumberbatch, who just checked in, gets an opportunity at the stripe to pick up her first points of the game. 17-6 is our score as that first one rolls off. So one more to come for the 5'10 freshman Alicia Cumberbatch. 2:23 left to play in this first quarter as the second free throw is good. Makes it 18-6 now in favor of the Bruins as Cumberbatch splits a pair. Bruins as a team 3 of 6 at the line in this opening quarter. 3-2 zone again for the Bruins, trying to fire a three from the corner. That's off the mark, no good for Murray. Battle for the loose ball. Sophie Barnes, who just checked back in, comes up with the rebound. Hands it off for Lane, who speeds it into the forecourt. Mustangs back defensively, though, so the Bruins will settle into their offense against this 2-3 zone. Whip it far side for Rumpf into the corner for Cumberbatch. Cumberbatch back for Lane, thought about the three, instead pulls it down. Comes back to the top for Hackett, but Lemon steps in front of the pass and knocks it away. Lemon's into the forecourt, having trouble with the dribble. Got Hackett in the air, misses the little hook shot, and the rebound to Lane. Now a 3-on-2 back the other way as Rumpf drives it inside with the right hand and lays it in. Not much resistance defensively that time for the Mustangs in transition, and Rumpf has another basket. She's got 5 in the ball game, and it's 20-6 now with 1:20 left to play in this first quarter. Side to side for the Mustangs as Lemons to the top for McNeil. Near side for Harris. Back again as they reverse it far side. Lemons, who has 2 threes already, misses this one. A little bit strong off the back of the rim, and the rebound to Hackett and the Bruins. 1:05 to play in the quarter. 20-6 in favor of the Bruins. Ashley Lane, far side for Rumpf. Rumpf looking for somewhere to go with the basketball. Skips it to the near side now for Barnes. Into the corner for Lane on a little touch pass. Open three on the way is no good. Good position for the rebound underneath by Cumberbatch, who puts it up with the left hand and lays it in. Bruins have been all over the offensive glass in this one. 3 in the game for Cumberbatch off the bench, 22-6 with 32 seconds left to play in this first quarter. About a 6-second difference game to shot clock, firing a quick trigger three that's no good for McNeil, and a rebound pulled away by Hackett again. And the Bruins now with the shot clock off have an opportunity for the last shot of the quarter. But Coach Money is going to call a timeout, I think, to set something up for this final possession of this first quarter. It'll be a full timeout, so we will take it as well with 20.1 on the game clock in the first quarter. Bruins on top, 22-6 as we continue after this on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
Here on the campus of Piedmont International University, 22-6 is our score in favor of the Bruins. Out of the timeout, 17 seconds left in this first quarter. Bruins trying to get one last shot at the basket as Rumpf drives it inside with the left hand in the corner, down low inside for Angle, catches it in traffic, got the ball stuffed right back in her face and out of bounds, but the Bruins will keep it with 7.5 seconds left to play in this opening quarter. Rumpf will trigger the inbound right on the baseline off to our left. Lobs it in the corner for Lane. Catch and shoot from the three. Off the back rim, no. 4 seconds left. Lane got her own miss, put it back up, no. And then the ball out of bounds with 0.7 on the game clock. Lane had a great look at that three off a well-designed inbounds pass. Just wasn't able to knock it down, and now you got to throw it up at the rim and see if you can get a quick touch and deflection up at the rim. Lane quickly throws it up for Cumberbatch, makes the catch, fires the shot. Oh, it wouldn't go down. Again, another well-designed inbounds pass. Doesn't go down for the Bruins, but nevertheless, one of their best first quarters of the season as they lead it after the first 10 minutes of play, 22-6 over this Mustangs team from Mid-Atlantic Christian University. We'll take a timeout when we come back the second quarter after this here on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live. Quarters of the season come out in a man-to-man defense to start this out. Into the game for the first time, Amaya Scott comes up with a deflection immediately, gets on the floor for the loose ball, finds Sophie Barnes. Barnes trying to drive it inside, nowhere to go. Loses the basketball, Scott picks it up, Cumberbatch drives the lane, lay it up, scored, and a foul. So Amaya Scott, any question about her health after she had that scary fall where she hit the back of her head on the court on Thursday in the loss to Johnson and Wales, answered right off the bat as she gets in there chopping at the bit. Comes up with a deflection and a steal. And then also the assist on the basket by Cumberbatch. And Cumberbatch now with an opportunity for the old-fashioned three-point play as the free throw bounces out. Barnes had the rebound for a moment, but they're going to say Barnes actually cleared out Aaliyah McNeil, which is an interesting call given that McNeil probably has 30 or 40 pounds on Sophie Barnes over there. Nevertheless, you're not going to complain too much when you're up 18. 24-6 is our score, just underway second quarter. Double team coming just in front of the midcourt stripe on Cook, who throws it wildly, manages to save the possession, though, does Harris for the Mustangs. As the Bruins feeling pretty confident defensively right now. Driving it inside is Cook to the top, reversal into the far corner. An open three for Harris is off the side of the backboard, and the rebound taken away by the Bruins, and then a reach-in foul in the backcourt against Cook. And it will be Bruins basketball with an 18-point lead, 24-6. Talked to Amaya Scott before the game and asked her just kind of point blank how she was feeling. She said yesterday was the first time she kind of felt like herself again after she hit her head very, very hard off the court on Thursday, and that loss to Johnson & Wales, like we mentioned. Did not play in the loss Saturday to Warren Wilson, but back on the court tonight on a little bit of a minutes restriction. Coach Money said would play about 20 minutes tonight. Wood Scott steps behind the screen and launches a three here to Scott and knocks it in. Amaya Scott, super sub, comes in and knocks down the three. It's 27-6, her first points of the night. Largest lead for the Bruins at 21. McNeil and Cook play catch side to side. Back in this zone defense are the Bruins on this trip. McNeil will fire a three from the far wing and knock it in. All the points in the ball game right now for the Mustangs have come from the three-point line. 6 from Lemons and now 3 for McNeil on three-pointers, and it's 27-9 with 8:20 to play in the first half. Lane content to take some time off the shot clock. Finds Barnes on the far wing with the basketball. Trying to move it into the corner. Pass was deflected, though, and stolen away by Cook. Cook will speed it into the forecourt for the Mustangs. Trying to drive it downhill. Gets all the way to the rim. Lays it up and in. Good strong drive by Sierra Cook. Just put her head down and got all the way into the rim and was able to bank it off the glass and in. First 2-point field goal of the game for the Mustangs, who have a little mini 5-0 run going. Trailed by 16 at 27-11. Cumberbatch at the free throw line area. Gets it down low for Barnes. Barnes gets tied up underneath by Cook. It'll be a jump ball. And the possession arrow will stay with the Bruins. Alexander returns. And Harris will exit for the Mustangs. And Zanaya Kessler also back in, and Ashley Lane will exit. Scott will throw it in, lobs it up dangerously. Made the catch, though, did Angle. Angle with the left-hand dribble. Drives all the way in right down the lane and banks it off the window and in. Second field goal for Angle. Pushes the lead out to 18 at 29-11. 7:27 left to play in this first half. McNeil, far side for Cook. And right back into the hands again of McNeil. Gets it back to Alexander. Fires a quick trigger three and knocks it in. Talithia Alexander with her first basket. 29-14 now. So that's an 8-2 run to cut the deficit to 15 after it was 21. At 29-14 with 7 minutes left to play before halftime. Angle on the wing. Comes to the near side for Scott. Spins her way into the lane. Tries to bank it. No. Rebound battled for her. A couple of Bruins players had an opportunity at it. Rolls out of bounds on the baseline, though. It'll stay with the Bruins after McNeil not able to pull it in for the Mustangs. Lob it up, trying to get it for Cumberbatch. Pass deflected. Got to Cumberbatch anyway. In the lane. Moves it into the corner. And with 1 on the shot clock, nobody paying attention to it. And that'll be the shot clock violation against the Bruins. And now the Mustangs will get it back. So the Mustangs seem to be settling themselves a little bit into this game. After really struggling in the early going. Again, they trailed to 27-6 at one point as Amaya Scott comes up with a deflection, then a steal by Barnes. Now a 3-on-1 back the other way. Kessler drives it inside, drops it off for Scott, and the layup is up and in. 5 points off the bench for Scott. 31-14 the score. With 6:20 left to play in the first half. Far side for McNeil, into the corner for Murray, trying to get it down low inside. Good pass down low for Lester. And Lester banks it off the window and in. Good position underneath the basket that time by Tiara Lester, her first basket, 31-16. And again, the Mustangs seem to have kind of found a rhythm a little bit offensively here in the last few minutes. staying within hailing distance after they chopped 6 points off the deficit. That was 21, and it's currently 15. Bruins still in control of the game, though, as Barnes hands it off for Scott, tries to split a double team, throws it up for Cumberbatch, but a traveling violation against Scott. And the Mustangs will get it back. A couple of substitutions. We'll get Ashley Lane back into the game, as well as Arian Rumpf, and then also substitutions for the Mustangs as Lemons returns. As does Alexis Harris. So Mustangs with the basketball on the near side for Lemons. Reverse it far side for Cook. Tries to drive it. Shut off on the baseline, though. Comes back to the top. Reverse it Alexander. An open three on the way. That one off the front of the rim. Rebound battled for. Taken away by Angle. Angle with a baseball pass ahead for Lane. Nice outlet pass, and the layup is up and in. Terrific, terrific baseball pass by Angle, finding the streaking Ashley Lane out ahead of the break. And she lays it in. She has 8 in the ball game. That's 33-16. Lemons trying to answer with a 3. Tried to bank it, no good. Rebound off the fingertips of Lane. Alexander comes down with it. Forces up a wild shot that's no good. And a rebound taken away by Angle. Angle with the lob ahead for Lane. Lane trying to get it on the baseline for Barnes. Barnes not paying attention, but Rumpf is. And Rumpf picks up the loose change and drops it in the hoop. 7 in the game for Rumpf. 35-16 is the lead back to 19 now. Cook on the near wing with the skip pass to the top. Reverse Alexander. Back again for Cook. Lemons trying to get it down low for Harris. Got a good position on the block. Turns around with a hook shot, but gets the shot rejected by Ashley Lane. And the rebound taken away by the Bruins. Rumpf leading the break. Drives it inside. Gets all the way to the rim. A right-handed layup a little bit too strong. And the loose ball taken away by the Mustangs. Back the other way, Cook goes 1-on-2, scoops it up and in, no good. And the loose ball taken away by Kessler. Lead it ahead for Lane. Lane at the free throw line. Finds Angle underneath the basket for Barnes. Barnes misses the push shot. Rebound taken away by Lane, who will dribble out of traffic. Will fire it up with 16 on the shot clock, a little bit short. I think Coach Money thought that the shot clock was about to expire, and so a little bit of miscommunication as Lane just kind of wildly threw it up at the rim. As Barnes will exit, and back into the game will come Cumberbatch. Charlotta Hackett also checking back in for the Bruins. So it'll be Mustang basketball, 35-16 our score with 3:50 left to play in the half. Lemons, near side for Cook. Cook trying to come back to the top. Had to get it out over the outstretched arms of Kessler. Now onto the baseline. Jumper on the way from Harris is halfway down and out, and the rebound taken away by Lane. Lane able to bring it across the timeline, being pressured heavily by Cook. Lane picks up her dribble now, comes to the top for Kessler. Down low inside with a bullet pass intended for Cumberbatch. A little bit too fast, though, as it goes whizzing off her fingertips and out of bounds. Back over to the Mustangs. So Mustang basketball again. Trailing by 19 at 35-16. Cook at the top for McNeil. Back again for Cook. 15 on the shot clock. Trying to get it down low underneath. Nice cut along the baseline by McNeil, who gets tied up inside in a foul. So it'll be McNeil at the line for a pair. Cutting in from the wing and was able to draw some contact. First free throw attempt in the ball game for the Mustangs. Goes down for McNeil, who now has 4 in the game. Cuts the deficit to 18 at 35-17. Second free throw good as well. So 35-18 now our scores. We approach the 3-minute mark of this first half. Ashley Lane behind her back. Tries to use the screen from Hackett. Couldn't get free. Instead drops it off for Rumpf. Back to Hackett. Little touch pass. Corner. Open three on the way for Kessler is no good. Hackett trying to track down the miss. Was the last to touch it as it rolls out of bounds on the end line. Alexander out of the game for the Mustangs, and back in comes Tiara Lester. As the Mustangs with the basketball, trailing by 17 at 35-18. 2:37 left to play in this first half. Into the corner, an open three up on the way from the corner for McNeil is no good, and the rebound taken away by Rumpf. Bruins offense has struggled over the last couple of minutes, would like to be able to put some points back up on the board and extend this lead out as we get a reach-in foul that goes against Cook. Her second and the team third in what's been a relatively clean game to this point. Not a whole lot of whistles and stoppages, just 5 combined fouls in the first half as Rumpf to the top for Cumberbatch and the Bruins. Hackett looking for some help, finds Kessler curling around the screen, up fakes the three and is whistled for the travel. So the ball back over to the Mustangs, who for a little while there in this second quarter had started to figure things out on the offensive end, but have struggled the last couple of minutes as well. And as a result, feels like we've been stuck on this score for quite a while. 1:55 to play in the half. Bruins will get a couple of subs at the next whistle as driving in from the baseline with a nifty little scoop shot is Sierra Cook, who lays it in. Cuts the deficit to 15 at 35-20. Alicia Cumberbatch with the basketball. With the right-hand dribble, hands it off for Lane. Now back into the hands of Hackett. Tried to get it down low for Kessler, couldn't get it there. Instead for Lane again. Curling around the screen on the baseline on the little back cut was Hackett, who gets tripped and knocked to the ground. And the ball out of bounds back over to the Mustangs with 1:23 to play in the half. As we get a couple of subs in, as Amaya Scott returns, as does Monifa Angle. Hackett and Cumberbatch will go back to the bench. Aaliyah McNeil handling the point guard duties, comes near side for Lemons. Lemons trying to come back to the top, but Amaya Scott steps in, comes up with a steal, goes in all by herself. Layup left it short, though. Second time we've seen the Bruins miss open layups in transition. Back the other way as Cook throws it up wildly from inside the lane. That's no good. Lane picks up the loose ball, trying to come back the other way. 2-on-2 opportunity. Lane lays it up. No, but a foul. Good strong drive by Ashley Lane. We'll get an opportunity at the line. As we're under 1 minute to play here in quarter number 2. Lane with 8 points in the game is 1 of 2 at the stripe. First one on the way is up and through. So 1 more to come for the freshman, Ashley Lane. Second one on the way is up and good as well. So Lane converts both, is now 3 of 4 at the line. Lead up to 17 at 37-20. As Alexander returns for the Mustangs and Harris will exit. And the Mustangs will have the basketball with 50 seconds left to play in the second quarter. Near side for Lemons. Into the corner for Cook. Cook back to the top for McNeil. Thought about the three. Instead, Alexander will fire it. Hits off the glass and off to the right, and the rebound taken away by the Bruins. About a 4-second difference, game to shot clock. 29 seconds on the game clock, 25 on the shot clock. As the Bruins can just about get the last shot of the half if they want it. Scott with the basketball to the top behind 2 screens. Hackett fires away a 3 and knocks it in. Check that, Zanaya Kessler with the 3 from straight away. Her second 3 of the ball game. She's got 8, and the Bruins now doubling up the Mustangs at 40-20. Nearly a turnover as the Bruins get a little bit more aggressive defensively, trying to force a turnover. Lemons tried to bank a 3 that's no good with 1 second left to play, and that will be the end of the first half. A good one for the Bruins. Struggled a little bit offensively in that second quarter, but able to maintain the distance from this Mid-Atlantic Christian team, and they lead it by 20 at the break. 40-20 is the score after the first 2 quarters of play. We'll have the Bruins halftime report coming up after this here as we continue on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
Yeah. Low. Yeah. 360 in the contract. Never that. I just take the contact. I bring it back. I'm running on the fast break. Behind the back. Yeah, this that penny with the shack.
The fees passing me the rock. You might not get it back. They never gave a hand. Now they wanna give me that. I don't know where you been. I got fear of God. Ain't no fear of man. These them air minios. Yeesh, need a pair of them.
LA, man, I feel like magic. LA, I can't stand the traffic. West side for the vacation. Yeah, Westbrook on the isolation.
Yeah. So New York City gotta keep it Mickey Mantle, the bubble jacket with the piffy winkle camo, From Argentina, it's a military issue, And Lloyd said don't mix the pitbull with the shit, so don't do it.
I just threw it off the backboard. Game winner, I'm the one they asked for. Magic. 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 Magic.
Yeah, 4th grade teacher said he need medication.
4 shows, 5 days, I need meditation.
6 deep, Peter Luger made the reservation.
Pass the check right in, no hesitation.
Spotify to show the kid love. I'm like, what a week. Everybody trying to get my plug number for the years. I told my love, baby, we should leave. Then we go and get the pho, that's that Vietnamese. Yeah, so shout out all the single mothers, 2 jobs, 3 kids. I call that a triple-double, call plays in the huddle. God, I'm in trouble. Shorties want me sub 'em in, and they sure ain't being subtle.
Well, now the hometown kids finally took the tour foreign. I don't never ever chase dreams, man, I stalk them.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
Back here in Winston-Salem at halftime of game number 1 of tonight's doubleheader, and the Lady Bruins putting together maybe their best first half of the season as they lead it over the Mustangs from Mid-Atlantic Christian University. 40-20 is the score after 2 quarters of play. Dave Shook with you here at courtside on the campus of Piedmont International University. And if you're wondering what's going on, well, we do still have another half to play in this game, but because the Pfeiffer Bulldogs were a little late getting here today, they did not get a chance for a shoot-around for the second half of tonight's doubleheader, so they're getting an opportunity to warm up a little bit here during halftime of this first game of tonight. And again, it will be NCAA Division III foe Pfeiffer in the building tonight here in Winston-Salem, getting set to take on our Bruins in what will be a very, very interesting matchup. We'll talk more about that one a little bit later on as the evening moves through here tonight in the second half of tonight's doubleheader. But for the Lady Bruins, again, we certainly don't want to discount what they've done here tonight, putting forth maybe, again, their best first half of the season as they lead it by 20 over Mid-Atlantic Christian University. As we take a look at some of the leading scorers from the first half, Ashley Lane, the only player in double figures for the Bruins, as she has 10 points in the first half, but a lot of balance in the score sheet right now, as everybody who has scored has scored at least twice. And so some of the other numbers from that first half, Zanaya Kessler also in the scorebook has 8 points. Arian Rumpf has 7. And then we have 3 players all with 5 in Monifa Engel, Alicia Cumberbatch, and Amaya Scott. On the other side for the Mustangs, just 20 points in the scorebook, and it took them until about midway through the second quarter before they got a basket that wasn't a three-pointer. And the leading scorer in that first half was Amanda Lemons, who had a couple of three-pointers. Also in the score sheet, 4 points for Sierra Cook, who had a couple of good driving layups inside for the Mustangs. And then Aaliyah McNeil finishing with 5 points. Talithia Alexander finishing with 3, and then Tierra Lester with 2 to round out the scoring. So 40-20 is our scores. We'll talk a little bit about how we got to the 40-20 scoreline here in just a few minutes as we continue with the Bruins halftime report here on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
Yeah. Low. Yeah. 360 in the contract. Never that. I just take the contact. I bring it back. I'm running on the fast break. Behind the back. Yeah, this that penny with the shack.
If he's passing me the rock, you might not get it back. They never gave a hand, now they wanna give me that. I don't know where you been. I got fear of God, ain't no fear of man. These them air minios, yeesh, need a pair of them.
LA, man, I feel like magic. LA, I can't stand the traffic. West side for the vacation. Yeah, Westbrook on the isolation.
Yeah. So New York City gotta keep it Mickey Mantle, the bubble jacket with the piffy winkle camo, From Argentina, it's a military issue, And Lloyd said don't mix the pitbull with the shit, so don't do it.
I just threw it off the backboard. Game winner, I'm the one they asked for. Magic. 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 Magic.
Yeah, 4th grade teacher said he need medication.
4 shows, 5 days, I need meditation.
6 feet, Peter Luger made the reservation.
Pass the check right here, no hesitation.
Spotify to show the kid love. I'm like, what a week. Everybody trying to get my plug number for the years. I told my love, baby, we should leave. Then we go and get the fun. That's that Vietnamese. Yeah, so shout out all the single mothers, 2 jobs, 3 kids. I call that a triple-double. Call plays in the huddle. God, I'm in trouble. Shorties want me sub 'em in, and they sure ain't being subtle.
Well, now the hometown kids finally took the tour foreign. I don't never ever chase dreams, man, I stalk them.
Sacrifice. Ambition. Loyalty. Pride. Drive. Unity.
That's what it takes to be a Bruin.
Getting set for the start of the second half between the Lady Bruins and the Mustangs from Mid-Atlantic Christian University. Dave Shook with you here at courtside, and the Bruins on top in this one, 40-20 after the first 2 quarters of play. Told you about some of the numbers from the first half, but how we got here was certainly interesting as the Bruins came out of the gates absolutely on fire, dominated the early portion of the game, holding the Mustangs scoreless for the first 6 minutes of the game, in which they built a 16-0 lead before finally it was Amanda Lemons that banked in a 3 to get the Mustangs on the scoreboard. She would knock in one more 3-pointer at the end of the first quarter as well to round out the scoring for the Mustangs, but it was 21-6 at the end of that first quarter in favor of the Bruins. And then as the game moved along in the second quarter, the Bruins opened up what would be their largest lead of the game at 21 when they led it 27-6, scoring the first 6 points of the second quarter as well. But from there, things kind of settled a little bit, and it seemed like the Mustangs got a little bit more comfortable offensively as they were able to execute some things against the zone defense that the Lady Bruins threw at them. Also were able to get a couple of things going toward the rim. That, coupled with a slowdown in the offensive production for the Bruins on their end of the floor, allowed the Mustangs to cut the deficit to as few as 15. It seemed like they were going to be able to at least hang around in this game, but the Bruins, with a good strong close to the end of the first half, have opened it back up again, and they lead it at the end of the first 2 quarters. Again, 40-20 is our score here at halftime. The men's teams are clearing the floor, and we're getting set for the start of the second half between the Lady Bruins and the Mustangs, and we'll have it for you coming up here after this on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
This program is unique in that it addresses three key leadership areas: organizational management, educational administration, and ministry administration.
I would say the payoff is in ways that I never imagined. I never thought I would have such a supportive network. I never thought I would meet such great people who were at different points in their life. I mean, you can be sitting next to someone who's the CEO, and you sit next to people who are doctors. You also sit next to people who are stay-at-home moms who have decided to go back to school. It has enriched me in ways I just never thought a PhD program would.
I have a nuclear engineering technology bachelor's degree. I got an MBA from a secular school, and I knew that there was a whole Christian aspect of leadership. You read the books about Nehemiah, David, Christ himself. And so I wanted to build that into my learning and knowledge, so I started looking for a Christian college.
Piedmont comes across my computer, and they're on the top of all these lists: best this, top that, top 25, top. And I said, okay, this school seems to have a reputation for academic excellence.
The professors, the relationships we're building, and the leadership program is second to none. I'm able to use every single class I've taken in my business, and my business has grown. Not only my business, but I'm able to do community development and train other leaders, young leaders, middle-aged leaders, older leaders, and then I'm able to pass on leadership abilities and skills, to other people.
This program has a number of key strengths. Depending on which concentration, whether it's education or business or ministry, because it's a terminal degree, a PhD, it opens doors of opportunity. God can use this program in so many different ways. In pastoral ministry, it can open doors to greater opportunities to share Christ in different contexts. In organizational management, it opens doors to new leadership positions. For many of our students, that's been their story. And in educational administration, it has done the same as well.
Since I've been in the program, the flexibility of the schedule, because I had to relocate from one end of the country to the other. I had to go to China for 2 adoptions. Last year my daughter had open heart surgery, so we've been able to work around that.
PIU students, they walk the talk. The professors, they walk the talk. So they lead by example, and therefore their students just emulate and lead by example in the communities they come from. It's just that simple.
To know that not only are my professors top-notch, not only do they know, everything in their field, they're leaders in their field, they're knowledgeable, they're guiding you, they're praying for you. And to know that makes all the difference in the world.
It's cost effective. It got the goal of having the Christian aspect brought into leadership and how that fits all together, and then the staff support.
But if you make the decision and you decide to come, it's the best decision you'll ever make, and you will not be the same afterwards.
I knew I had made the right decision.
Getting set to start the second half here in Winston-Salem on the campus of Piedmont International University, where the Bruins have themselves a 20-point lead entering the final 20 minutes of action. 40-20 is the score here on the campus of Piedmont International. I'm Dave Shook. Mason Cox is our producer, engineer / cameraman this evening. And as we get set to start the second half, it will be the Mustangs with the basketball, moving from right to left or across your TV screen, radio dial, computer screen, smartphone, tablet, however you're accessing us today on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live as Alexander knocks down the three for the Mustangs to open the second half, her second three of the ball game. And now the Bruins come back the other way, leading by 17, but first a whistle and a timeout, and a 30-second timeout from Coach Caleb Money, who I don't think is thrilled with the opening possession defensively for the Bruins there, allowing another three-pointer. From Talithia Alexander, The Mustangs in those what look very similar to what would be the uniforms for the Miami Hurricanes at the NCAA Division I level, in the green uniforms with the white numerals and the orange trim, as well as that white gradient color on the shorts. Certainly do not want to lose your focus in the second half. All you have to do is go back a few weeks to the game against Johnson University, a game that the Bruins led by as many as 17 at one point against one of the better teams in the country at the NCCAA level, and let that one get away in the fourth quarter. So we'll see if the Bruins come out a little bit refocused after that opening possession that did not go their way, as Lane handling the point guard duties. Sophie Barnes back in the starting lineup, comes out and sets a good screen for Lane. Lane moves it into the corner for Rump, tries to drive it across the painted area, up top angle, an open two-point jumper, skims off the right side of the rim. Trying to save it was Kessler, but not able to do so inbounds. So it will be Mid-Atlantic Christian basketball, and a chance to get a little closer. Again, they trailed 16-0 in the early going, have not been closer than 15 ever since. As the Mustangs with the basketball, is Cook trying to drive it right down the lane, weaves her way through traffic, couldn't finish the layup, and the rebound taken away by Angle in the Bruins. Ashley Lane again handling the point guard duties, puts her head down with a right-hand dribble, gets all the way into the paint, but is forced to circle back and bring it back to the top. Ashley Lane uses the screen from Rumpf, moves it into the corner for Barnes, gets it back to the lane, to the top for Angle, near side for Kessler, tried to skip it to Barnes on the baseline, but the pass deflected and stolen away. Long lead-ahead pass for Cook, but the right-hand layup is up and through. That's a 5-0 run to start the second half for the Mustangs, who cut the deficit to 15 at 40-25. Again, that's the closest they've been since the first quarter. Lane for Angle, trying to get it back to Lane on a give and go, but too far ahead of her. Lane not able to pick up the loose ball, and it's out of bounds, or rather a foul committed after McNeil came up with the steal. And Lane just kind of barreled into her. So we'll see how the Bruins handle a little bit of adversity to start this third quarter. Still playing with a comfortable 15-point lead, but the Mustangs a little bit more focused and energized to start this third quarter than they were the first. Down low inside, good position on the post area by Lester, and she's fouled from behind. We'll see who the foul's against. It looks like it'll be Angle. Just her first and the team's second. Neither team made it to the bonus in the first half. Mustangs will keep it with a fresh shot clock. Alexander made 1 3 already in this quarter, tries another one. That one is no good, though. Rebound to Rumpf with good position. Lane wants to run, leads it ahead nicely into the hands of Kessler, lays it up and in with the right hand. Good job by Kessler streaking down the middle of the floor, and a good job by Lane to find her from a tough angle. Gets the basket for the Bruins, pushes the lead back to 17 at 42-25. Back the other way, though, inside Lester misses a push shot off the window, and the rebound taken away by the Bruins. Piedmont basketball now looking to re-extend this lead. They've led by as many as 21. They lead by 17 right now. 42-25 is the score as Lane, being harassed by Cook, gets it down low for Angle to the top free throw line area for Rumpf. Jumper off the back rim, no. Angle with the miss, and then it's ripped away by Alexander and the Mustangs. 3-on-2 back the other way. Cook into the corner, open three for Harris. Rattles in. Cuts the deficit to 14, closest the Mustangs have been in a while. Charlotta Hackett and Amaya Scott waiting to get into the next whistle for the Bruins as Cook comes up with a deflection, nearly got the steal, but instead able to save it there was Lane. Good touch pass underneath, big to big, as Rumpf taps it ahead to Lane underneath the basket, or to Angle rather, for the hoop. And the Bruins able to salvage a basket on a possession that looked like it was headed for disaster. 44-28 as Cook drives it inside, got tied up inside, got her own miss back, misses the reverse layup, and then the loose ball cleared away by Lane. Ashley Lane into the forecourt with the right-hand dribble, gets all the way to the paint, gets all the way to the rim, laid up, scored, and a foul. Ashley Lane coast to coast off the miss by Cook, who had an opportunity with that reverse layup from point-blank range. Wasn't able to put it in. Lane with the miss. Takes it all the way back the other way, scores it in a foul. Scott and Hackett back into the game for the Bruins. Kadisha Murray back in for the Mustangs. Free throw on the way is no good, and the rebound taken away by Lester. So McNeil up the far side of the floor. The deficit is 18 for the Mustangs. Dangerous lob pass inside for Lester. Lester with the catch, though. Turns around and banks it in off the window from the left side of the lane. Makes it 46-30. Rumpf, free throw line extended. Down low inside for Scott. Couldn't get the reverse layup to go. Loose ball taken away by the Mustangs, who want to push back the other way. Cook at the top to the near side for Alexander. Trying to enter it in down low for Lester. Tough catch, but made it. Had to track it all the way down in the corner. Now gets it into the hands of McNeil. McNeil sweeps across the lane with a hook shot that's no good. And the rebound taken away by the Bruins. Lane into the forecourt around the screen from Hackett. Puts it on the deck with the right hand. Shovels it underneath for Hackett. Nicely done. Good find by Ashley Lane on the assist for Charlotta Hackett, who just rolled to the basket off that screen, gets her first basket. Make it 48-30. So the Mustangs made a little bit of a push to get it down to 14 as Alexander fires an open three, bounces halfway down and nearly went back in, but the rebound taken away by Rumpf. Long lead ahead pass trying to find Lane. Lane able to save it on that far sideline. Skips it near side for Scott. An open three on the way is going to be well short. Hackett all over the rebound. Put it back up. No, but a foul. Good job by Hackett in the right place at the right time. Got knocked to the deck. A little bit slow to get up. Might have hit her elbow off the court. But it looks like she's okay. She comes up, and she'll go to the free throw line for a pair. So it'll be Hackett at the line for two. But instead, actually, they're going to sub Hackett out and send Monifa Angle to the free throw line. Not sure if it was a wrist or an elbow. Looks like maybe a wrist, actually. You see her sit down holding it. First free throw for Angle is off the front of the rim. So one more at the stripe for Angle. Chance to make it a 19-point game as the second free throw also no good, and the rebound taken away by Murray. Amanda Lemons with the loose ball for the Mustangs. Side to side against this zone defense. Down low inside for Harris. Makes a good catch. Forces it up with contact against the much bigger Rumpf and draws contact and a foul. So it'll be Harris at the line for a pair. Trying to cut this down to 17 if she can make both. First trip to the line for Harris, who has 3 in a game. As a team, the Mustangs have only been to the line twice tonight as she makes the first. Angle out of the game and Cumberbatch back in. Second free throw on the way is up and good. So 2 of 2 at the stripe for Harris, who has 5 in the game. The deficit at 16 now for the Mustangs at 48-32 with 4:35 left to play in this third quarter. Ashley Lane with a good shoulder fake, gets all the way to the rim. Short on the jumper, though, and the rebound taken away by the Mustangs. And Alexis Harris. Lead ahead pass for Cook. Drives it from the baseline, far side. Lay it up, no, but a foul. So the Mustangs have gotten much more aggressive offensively since the early stages of the game. This time it's Cook driving it in and drawing contact. And she'll be at the line for a pair. Chance to get this down to 14 again. First free throw is up and good. First free throw opportunities for Cook, who now has 7 in the game. Sophie Barnes returns. Ashley Lane will sit for the Bruins. One more to come for Cook. Second one good as well. So the lead back to 14 at 48-34 as the Bruins continue to be a little bit sluggish offensively since that first quarter explosion. Rumpf will fire a jumper. It hits off the back of the rim. Amaya Scott in there for the rebound, and she's fouled from behind, trying to go for the putback. And Amaya Scott, who's been a spark plug coming off the bench today, will get herself to the line for her first attempt at the free throw line. First free throw is off to the left. And so conversely, as well as the Mustangs have shot it at the line, the Bruins have struggled as Scott misses another one. So the deficit stays at 14 for the Mustangs, who come back the other way with McNeil skipping it far side for Lemons. Back to McNeil, 2-3 zone again. Lemons will tee up an open three. Hits off the glass. A long rebound comes right into the hands of McNeil. Shovels it off for Cook. Steps inside the three-point line and knocks down the 16-footer. Another jumper for Cook. Make it 48-36 as the deficit now cut to 12. 3:40 left to play in the third. Scott with a crossover. Gets all the way to the rim. Lay it up, no, but a foul. Good strong drive by Amaya Scott as she beat Harris at the top of the key with a good crossover. Got herself all the way to the rim. Wasn't able to put the shot down, but will get a couple of opportunities at the line. First free throw rolls off again. So 3 straight misses at the line for Scott. As the struggles continue, Tierra Lester back into the game for the Mustangs, and out of the game will go Kanisha Murray. And one more at the line for Scott. Second one on the way. That one rolls in. 1 of 2 at the stripe for Scott, and a quick 30-second timeout for Coach Money and the Bruins, with the lead at 13, 49-36. In a game that saw the Bruins get off to such a terrific start. Again, they led 21-6 at the end of the first quarter. But since then, the offense has been a little bit difficult to come by at times. And give credit to the Mustangs defensively, who have cranked things up and have not quit on this game, as they've not been able to make a huge dent in this lead, but certainly are what you would call hanging around right now with 3:36 left to play in the third. In a game they've trailed by as many as 21. This is the second meeting of the season between these two, as they met in Elizabeth City back before the new year. In a game the Bruins won. It was their first win of the season, in fact. Bruins trying to make it 2 for 2 against this Mustangs team. But still work to be done. A long way to go in this one as we're out of the timeout. Mustangs with the basketball, trying to squeeze the free throw line area of the paint with this zone defense now. As Lane defending Cook. Back to the top for McNeil. McNeil into the corner for Harris. Thought about the three. Back to McNeil. She'll fire the three from straight away and knock it in again. The Mustangs offense has been from the three-point line most of the night, and all of a sudden, what was a 20-point advantage at halftime, 40-20, is now down to 10 at 49-39. 19-9 the score in this third quarter in favor of the Mustangs, as Lane nearly got the ball knocked away, able to save the possession. Way short on the jumper, though, and the loose ball taken away by the Mustangs, who want to run back the other way. Harris into the forecourt to the top for McNeil, and you can just see the body language on the court right now for the Mustangs, playing with a lot more confidence than they were earlier in the game, as Lester, good position down low, couldn't put the right-handed shot in off the window, though. Loose ball taken away by the Mustangs, or by the Bruins, and Amaya Scott will slow things down. 2:28 left to play in the third. Near side for Lane on the weave, to the top for Rumpf. Rumpf comes out as Barnes setting the screen, but a 3-second violation as they try to get it down low for Cumberbatch. Took a little bit too long to get there, though, and a little bit too long for that play to develop. As Kessler will come into the game and Barnes will sit. Charlotta Hackett also back into the game as Cumberbatch goes back to the bench. 10-point lead for the Bruins, but it was 21 at one point, and it was 20 at halftime. Mustangs with a lot more confidence right now than they had early in the game, as again, good position for Lester. Comes back to the top for Lemons, looking for McNeil. Another open three. That one off the front of the rim. Long rebound. Kessler not able to seal it. And the loose ball taken away ultimately by the Mustangs. An open three for Lemons. That one off the back rim. No. Hackett in good position for the rebound. Squeezes it this time. And a foul over the back from Lester. That the 5th team foul in the quarter against the Mustangs. So we'll go back the other way and shoot a pair. And it will be Charlotta Hackett at the line, the redshirt sophomore. First free throw opportunity for Hackett is off to the right. And again, the Bruins have struggled at the line in this game, which has helped the Mustangs hang around and give them opportunities to chip away at this deficit. 1:52 left to play in the third. Second free throw also no good. And the rebound for the Mustangs comes down to Tierra Lester. Lead it ahead quickly for Cook. Drives along the baseline. Probing through the lane. Instead gets it to Lemons to the top for Harris. Reverse it near side McNeil. McNeil thought about the three. Instead skips it into the corner on the far side for Cook. Drives along the baseline. This time will shoot it. But an offensive foul. And it looks like an illegal screen. As Cook was driving in. Yeah, the foul against Tierra Lester, who set that screen when it was able to free Cook on the baseline. But she's whistled for the illegal screen. And the ball will go back over to the Bruins, who dodged a bullet there. That the third foul also against Lester. So the first real foul trouble for either side. And now we have a stoppage for an official's timeout. Coach Troxel for the Mustangs understandably not thrilled with that call, as it takes away a little bit of momentum for his group. Nevertheless, the Bruins with the basketball and still a 10-point lead, but need to find a way to start putting some points back on the board. As Ashley Lane hands it off for Ramaya Scott to the top for Rumpf. Trying to get it down low for Hackett, catches in traffic. Back up top for Kessler, back to Rumpf as they reverse the ball. Inside again for Hackett, but a pass a little bit wide of the mark, deflected and stolen by the Mustangs. Cook back the other way, hangs in the air, lay it up, no. Rebound battled for. Last touch out of bounds off the Mustangs. But then a second thought by the official will give the ball back to the Mustangs. As Rumpf looked like she was the last to touch it, was not able to secure that rebound. Lob it in for Lemons. 27 on the shot clock as they get a reset after the miss. Again, staring down this 3-2 zone, which really flummoxed the Mustangs in the early going, but they've been able to get better shots against it recently, but this time coming up with a steal on the deflection is Kessler and the Bruins. Lead it ahead for Rumpf, up fakes the three, drives the baseline, good strong drive, left the layup a little short. Second chance opportunity is good though. Much needed hoop for the Bruins. 9 in the game for Rumpf, who just kind of barreled her way towards the rim and was not going to be denied with 37 seconds left to play in the quarter. Into the corner, Lemons thought about the three, instead gets it back to Harris. McNeil to Cook, drives it along the baseline, ducks underneath Rumpf, misses the layup, and the rebound taken away by Scott. Scott finding the extra gear, trying to lead it ahead for Kessler. Ball finds her, spins around off the window with the left hand and lays it in to Zanaya Kessler. What a tough shot that was. 12 in the game for her now. And with 12 seconds on the game clock, the shot clock is off, and the lead is back to 15 at 53-38. Lemons will fire the three with 1 on the shot clock and knocks it in. How about that? Amanda Lemons with a long three-pointer. And that will make it 53-42 at the end of the third quarter of play here in Winston-Salem. So the Bruins, who had a 20-point lead at the break, have seen that trimmed down to 11 and as few as 10 at the end of the first 3 quarters. We've got 10 minutes left to play in this one. We'll have it for you after this here on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live. Getting set for the start of the fourth and final quarter here in Winston-Salem, with the Bruins having seen their 21-point lead trimmed to 10 right now, or 12 rather, at 53-41. Lane trying to go backdoor inside for Kessler, makes the catch, couldn't finish the layup. Rumpf all over the rebound, and the layup is up and in. Big time job by Rumpf that time, cleaning up the miss and laying it in to open the scoring here in this fourth quarter, making it 55-41 with 9:35 left to play here in the fourth. McNeil for the Mustangs to the top for Lemons. Down low inside for Murray, turnaround jumper, no good. Came right back to her though. Second chance opportunity, too strong off the window, and Kessler with a rebound. So Bruins with a basketball and a 14-point lead at 55-41. Kessler down low inside. Nice catch by Rumpf. Turns, scores off the window, and a foul. Great job by Angle on the pass from Kessler. Just a quick touch pass down low for Rumpf, who had great post position. Turns and scores off the window. Third foul on Harris. And now Rumpf an opportunity for a three-point play. Has 13 in the game to lead all scorers. So the free throw on the way from Rumpf, trying to complete the three-point play, and does. She's got 14 in the game now, has done a really nice job. And the lead back to 17 at 58-41 with 9 minutes even left to play in the game. Lemons to the top for McNeil. Alexander back to the top again for Lemons. Trying to lob it into the high post area. Nice catch by Lester. Kicks it into the corner. McNeil. McNeil with a skip pass near side for Alexander. 10 on the shot clock now as Cook gets it back inside again for Lester. Lester double team back to the top for Lemons. Into the corner. 3 on the shot clock. McNeil to beat it. Three-pointer a little bit too long. And the rebound taken away by Rumpf. Bruins back the other way with a 17-point advantage, trying to put the Mustangs away early in this fourth quarter as Kessler at the top. Steps to the wing, into the corner for Rumpf. Will fire an open three. It's a little bit long, and the rebound taken away by McNeil and the Mustangs. Back the other way is McNeil in transition. Little floater just inside the free throw line, no. Rebound tapped around, and it comes into the hands of Rumpf again, who's been everywhere to start this fourth quarter. Lane into the forecourt for the Bruins. Around the screen from Kessler. Onto the baseline, gets it back to Kessler. Roll into the rim and lays it up and in. Seen that a couple of times on that pick and roll. Lane finding Kessler. Another basket for Zanaya. She has 14 in the game as well. And the lead is 19 at 60-41. Terrific start to this fourth quarter for the Bruins. Trying to skip it into the corner for Lemons, who made the catch up against the sideline. Back to Alexander with 10 on the shot clock. She'll step into a three and rattle it in. Third three of the game for Talithia Alexander. She's got 9. But the Bruins still lead this one by 16. As Lane hands it off for Angle to the near side for Kessler. Will fire an open three. Hits off the back of the rim. Barnes in position for the rebound, but is going to be whistled for a foul underneath the hoop. Foul against Barnes is her second. It'll be Mustang basketball, trailing by 16 at 60-44. Alexander, a couple of steps behind the line, knocks down another one. Talithia Alexander with her fourth three of the game. She's got 12 to lead the Mustangs. That one from way downtown. Cuts the deficit to 13 at 60-47. Alicia Cumberbatch trying to get it inside for Lane. Pass a little bit too tall, and it's deflected away and stolen by Lemons on the Mustangs. McNeil to the near side for Cook, trying to drive it from the baseline. Down low inside again for Lester. Spins it off the window and in. Lester's been able to get pretty good post position most of the night. Hasn't done a whole lot with it, just her 6th point. But cuts the deficit here to 11 at 60-49. And just as it looked like the Bruins were going to put this game away after they were up 19, it's back to 11. Bruins with a basketball as Barnes dribbles it off her foot, able to pick it up and save it. Tries to hand it off for Engel. Engel drives it down the lane with the left hand. Nice dump off inside for Cumberbatch. Cumberbatch, I think, was a little bit too open. Didn't realize how open she was. Misses the layup inside, in tight. And the rebound taken away by the Mustangs. Trying to push it back the other way is Cook. Dribbles into the corner. Back to Lemon. Steps up to the wing. Launches a long three. Hits off the back rim. And the rebound taken away by Rumpf and the Bruins. Rumpf back the other way. Spins into the lane. Right hand layup is up and through. Arian Rumpf again has been there to bail the Bruins out at pretty much every turn so far tonight. She's got 16. Lead back to 13 at 5:11 to play in the fourth. Cook trying to get it into the post area again for Lester. Give her some space. Now back up for McNeil. Cook drives it in between two defenders. Lost the basketball, and it's stolen away by Engel. Lane into the forecourt. Lane puts her head down. Walled off on the baseline. Now circles back to the wing. Drives it inside. Lay it up. No, but a foul. Foul's going to be against Alexander. That's her third. It'll be Bruin basketball. Zamaya Scott and Zanaya Kessler look like they were going to check in, but will not. Instead, we're going to get a timeout. It'll be a full timeout for the Mustangs, so we will take it as well with 4:47 left to play in the ball game, and the Bruins on top by 13. Back with more after this here on the Bruin Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live. .447 left to play in the ball game. The Bruins on top by 13 at 62-49. Bruins with the basketball as well as Hackett into the game, as well as Amaya Scott. And then away from the basketball, we have a whistle and a stoppage because the shot clock did not start. And so they'll have to reset that down to about 22 or 23. And that looks like they'll go with 25. Actually, they'll make it 26 with 4:47 left to play in the ball game. As the inbounds pass quickly in for Hackett to the top for Rumpf. Trying to get it down low for Lane. Pass deflected and stolen, though, by Cook. Cook into the corner. Lemon's got her shot blocked on the three-point attempt by Scott, but a whistle and a foul that's going to go against Amaya. And so that'll be 3 free throw opportunities coming for Amanda Lemons, who has made 3 3-pointers, but will maybe be making her first trip to the line here in this fourth quarter. She knocks down the first. The Mustangs are perfect at the line in the ball game so far, and stay that way as Lemons makes the first two of 3. One more to come. Perfect 3 for 3, and the Mustangs stay perfect at the line as the deficit again is down to 10, 62-52. This is the closest the Mustangs have been able to get. We'll see if the Bruins can shut the door over this final 4:30. There's a pass that's deflected again. Cook comes up with a steal against Lane. 2-on-2. Nice lead-ahead pass underneath for Lester. Lester misses the layup in tight. Probably got away with a walk as well, and then Rumpf didn't get away with the walk. So a missed opportunity for the Bruins after the Mustangs not able to score in transition. And now the Mustangs get it back, a chance to make this a single-digit deficit again. Into the corner. for Lemons. Back to the top, Alexander's made a couple of long threes. Down low, Lester. Lemons on the kick-out three opportunity, rattles it in. Fourth three-pointer of the game for Lemons. It is a 7-point game at 62-55. It was 40-20 at halftime. And again, the Bruins scored the first 16 points of this game as Hackett up fakes the three, missed Scott underneath the basket on a good cut. Now for Lane on the far wing. Lane with a good drive with the right hand, gets all the way to the rim and draws contact and a foul. So Ashley Lane with a good strong drive will get herself to the free throw line for an opportunity for the Bruins to put some much needed points on the board, as they've seen their 20-point lead, what has been as many as 21, chopped to 7. And in fact, the Bruins have led by as many as 19 in this fourth quarter alone, as Lane misses the first of 2. Free throws have been a struggle for the Bruins in this game. Monifa Engel will return. Charlotta Hackett will exit. As things have suddenly gotten interesting here in Winston-Salem after it looked like the Bruins were going to run away with this one. Second free throw is good. Much needed point for the Bruins, makes it 63-55. Time becoming a factor though with 3:30 left to play in the game. Cook with the pull-up jumper, rolls off the front of the rim and a weak side rebound for Rumpf and the Bruins. So missed opportunity there for the Mustangs as Lane weaves her way to the forecourt. Uses the screen from Rumpf, puts her head down, near side for Kessler, hands it off for Engel. Back to Scott. Scott rolling down the lane, finds Engel, pass deflected though as it went off the hands of both Engel and Rumpf. And the loose ball taken away by the Mustangs. Kick out three, Alexander looking for another one and it's good again. Oh my goodness. Talithia Alexander with her 5th three-pointer of the ball game. She has 15 and it is a 5-point game at 63-58 and a timeout for Coach Money and the Bruins. We're going to take it as well. 63-58 the score, 3:04 to play in the ball game. Back with the conclusion after this here on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
Back to action here in Winston-Salem as the Mustangs showing a little bit of full court pressure. Bruins able to break it though. As they hand off from Lane, pulls up from the jumper from the baseline. It rolls off, no. Put back, no good, but a foul. Great job by Monifa Engel in the right place at the right time on that weak side area. Had an opportunity to put that back in as she had good position against Alexander. Knocks down the first of 2 at the line, does Engel. Much needed points for the Bruins, trying to stave off the Mustangs, who have rallied from down 21 to get within 5. Second free throw, no good though. An offensive rebound by Lane and the putback is good. Huge, huge putback for Ashley Lane, who now has 15 in the game, pushing the advantage back to 8 at 66-58. Cook with the basketball for the Mustangs, drives the lane, little floater, left it short. Nearly had her own miss back and does. Comes back to the top, Alexander another 3. This one finally off the mark. Rebound battled for by Lester. She comes down with it and then a whistle and a foul that's gonna go against the Bruins in the rebounding action with 2:24 left to play in the game. McNeil will throw it in, a fresh shot clock for the Mustangs. Quickly in for Lester, pass deflected, came right back from McNeil, turnaround, lays it in. Just kind of a lucky bounce that time for the Mustangs, but McNeil cashes it in. Keeps the Mustangs in the game as they trail it by 6 at 66-60. 2:10 to play in the game. Angle, Rumpf to the near side for Lane. Onto the baseline again for Angle. Angle picks up her dribble, skips it far side. Open three on the way. Off the side of the rim, no good for Kessler, and a loose ball taken away by the Mustangs who want to run. Cook into the forecourt, had an opportunity, it looked like, to drive it, instead brings it out. To the top for McNeil. 20 on the shot clock, 1:44 on the game clock. Cook with the left-hand dribble, gets all the way inside, barrels over Amaya Scott. The officials look at each other. It's going to be a traveling violation, could have been a charge. So they're going to say that was a clean steal by Scott, and then she is the one that traveled with the basketball. I'm not sure how on earth that is actually a thing. Coach Money can't believe it either. So the Mustangs are going to keep it, and now we're going to get a timeout from Coach Troxel and the Mustangs. What a bizarre play. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, but you saw Cook drive it downhill with the left hand, barreling into Amaya Scott, who took the ball away in what should have been a charge or a blocking foul, one of the two. Instead, they say that the steal was clean for Scott, and that when she fell backwards after the contact from Cook, that it was a travel. Bizarre, to say the least. Nevertheless, 1:37 left to play in the game, and the Bruins trying desperately to close out a game against this Mid-Atlantic Christian team that they led by as many as 21 in the first half, and is by as many as 20 in the second, and by as many as 19 here in the fourth, but has been whittled all the way down to 6 and as few as 5. 66-60 the score. It'll be Mustang basketball with a fresh shot clock. McNeil will throw it in to Alexander behind a screen. A three is up and through again. Talithia Alexander's 6th three of the game. She has 18, and the deficit now for the Mustangs is just one possession. 66-63. Bruins badly need a hoop, but a deflection and a steal by Scott and the Mustangs. Leads it across the timeline for Lemons. Coach Troxel telling his team to settle down. 17 on the shot clock, 1:05 to play in the game. Cook with the left-hand dribble, pulls up top of the key. Good defense by Lane. Into the corner for McNeil, trying to drive it in on Kessler. Drops it off underneath for Lester. Lester pulls it back out to the top. Alexander with 3 on the shot clock is whistled for the travel. Good job by Rumpf that time out to contest Alexander and run her off the three-point line. And then Alexander, who has not had to put the ball on the deck at all in this game, forced to do so there and commits the turnover. And now the Bruins will get it back. Alexander will go out for defensive purposes and back into the game. We'll see who will come back in, but first we're going to get another timeout. This one for Coach Money and the Bruins, I believe. With 51.4 on the game clock. It is a timeout, and it is just a 30-second timeout for the Bruins. The Bruins, again, who led this game at the half, 40-20. Led it at one point in the first half, 26-5. Have seen this lead dwindle all the way down now to 3 at 66-63. Still 51.4 on the game clock. If you're the Bruins here, where do you go for offense? Arian Rumpf has been excellent for this team. 16 points in the game and has been able to bail them out, it seems, at almost every turn. We'll see if she can do it again here. Ashley Lane has 15 in the game, but has been a little bit turnover prone at times. So again, Alexander out of the game for the Mustangs for defensive purposes. Alexis Harris is back in. And Lane will trigger the inbound for the Bruins. So Lane trying to bring it across the midcourt stripe. Man-to-man pressure defense for the Mustangs. 43 on the game clock, down to 20 on the shot clock. Kessler to the top for Angle. Angle looking for somewhere to go with the basketball, trying to get it for Kessler along the baseline, makes the catch, couldn't lay it in. Second chance opportunity, good, and a foul for Zanaya Kessler. Zanaya Kessler with the biggest basket of the ball game by far after she missed the first layup opportunity, able to follow her own shot, comes down with the miss and the putback and the foul to stretch this out to a 5-point advantage with 29.8 on the game clock and a chance now to make it a 6-point game if she can knock the free throw down here. Free throw on the way, rolls in for Kessler. 17 in the game now for Kessler, takes over the team high. And now another timeout. This one will be for the Mustangs. A 30-second timeout, their final one of the game. To try and set something up now, trailing by 6, a 2-possession game with 29.8 on the game clock. The shot clock will be off. The obvious target offensively would seem to be Talithia Alexander for this Mustangs team, who has 18 points, all of them from the three-point line. And trailing by 6, you do have to wonder whether a three-pointer is necessary here for the Mustangs to maintain contact in this game. If not, Zanaya Kessler may have just put it away with that and one opportunity. But one stop here certainly would do it for the Bruins. McNeil will trigger the inbound. Gets it in for Alexander, back to McNeil. Lobs it in the corner for Lemons, who has a couple of threes herself. This one is a little bit long. Rebound by Lane, able to track it down, and then she's fouled from behind with 22.2 on the game clock. And the Bruins get the stop that they needed. Not a bad look for the Mustangs as Lemons, who has made 4 three-pointers in the game. A little bit long on that one from the corner. And now Ashley Lane at the free throw line for a pair and a chance to salt this one away for the Bruins. Foul on Cook is her 4th. Bruins in the bonus. A couple of free throws here should do it. First one on the way, rolls in. So one more at the line for Lane, trying to seal the win here for the Bruins. Second one, that one good as well. Calmly sinks both, does Lane. And I thought that we previously on the last possession had seen the last time out for the Mustangs, but instead this is their last one. It is a full timeout with 22.2 on the game clock. 71-63 is the score in favor of the Bruins. So we will take the timeout as well. We'll have the final 22 seconds for you after this here on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live. Back to action here in Winston-Salem on the campus of Piedmont International. Bruins trying to wrap this one up as we get a jump ball right at the top between Rumpf and Alexander. Possession arrow stays with the Mustangs. Bruins on top 71-63 in a game they've led by as many as 21. Have seen their deficit cut to as few as 3. But a huge basket by Zanaya Kessler may have put this game away as the Mustangs now desperately searching for a three-pointer. Alexander's going to fire one. That one's off the front of the rim. No. Rebound is tapped out of bounds. Last touch off of Lane with 6.7 on the game clock. That'll give it a opportunity to get Sophie Barnes into the game for the final 7 seconds. The lone senior here on senior day. And McNeil will trigger the inbound. Lobs it right in for Cook. Cook with the short jumper, rolls in. With 3.5 on the game clock, that should be the final basket of the game. But instead, Coach Money and the Bruins will take their final time out of the game with 3.5 on the game clock, much to the chagrin of literally everybody in this building. In a game the Bruins have in the bag at this point now, leading by 6 with 3.5 seconds left. So we'll keep it here. Coach Troxel is actually maybe asking the same question that I might be asking myself right now is, did the Bruins actually have a full timeout to use? I thought they had used the final one earlier. And now we have a discussion at the scorer's table about it. It's fairly irrelevant at this point since the timeout's already been granted. The only thing they could do is go back and call a technical if that were the case. Again, a reminder to stick with us for Game 2 of tonight's doubleheader as the Bruins men's team will take on NCAA Division III opponent Pfeiffer, who is already in the building, one of the best Division III teams in the region. 20-4 on the season, riding a 7-game winning streak, averaging 114 points a game. Taking on a Piedmont Bruins team that's also playing well over the last week or so, having won their last 4. Bruins will inbound in the forecourt with 3.5 seconds left to play as the ball goes in the backcourt for Barnes, and that will be the end of the ball game. Final score for the Bruins as they pick up the win, 71-65 as they close it out here today to pick up their 5th win of the season and sweep the season series from the Mustangs of Mid-Atlantic Christian. We'll have our post-game coverage coming up for you here in just a moment on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
Yeah. Low. Yeah. 360 in the contract, never that. I just take the contact, I bring it back. I'm running on the fast break, behind the back. Yeah, this that penny with the shack.
If he's passing me the rock, you might not get it back. They never gave a hand, now they wanna give me that. I don't know where you been, I got fear of God, ain't no fear of man. These them air minios, yeesh, need a pair of them.
LA, man, I feel like magic. LA, I can't stand the traffic. West side for the vacation. Yeah, Westbrook on the isolation.
Yeah. So New York City gotta keep it Mickey Mantle, the bubble jacket with the piffy winkle camo, From Argentina, it's a military issue, And Lloyd said don't mix the pit bull with the shit, so don't do it.
I just threw it off the backboard. Game winner, I'm the one they asked for. Magic. Yeah. Low. Yeah. 360 in the contract, never that. I just take the contact, I bring it back. I'm running on the fast break, behind the back. Yeah, this that penny with the shack.
If he's passing me the rock, you might not get it back. They never gave a hand, now they wanna give me that. I don't know where you been, I got fear of God, ain't no fear of man. These them air minios, yeesh, need a pair of them.
LA, man, I feel like
71-65 is the final score as the Bruins get a much-needed win tonight over the Mustangs for Mid-Atlantic Christian University. 71-65 is the final as the Bruins pick up their 5th win of the season. Dave Shook with you here at courtside and now joined by head coach Caleb Money. And coach, the first quarter of this game, the way it got started, maybe your best first half overall of the season, leading by 20 at the break and by as many as 21. You had to be really proud of the way this team came out from an energy standpoint and started the game.
It was. Both times we played this team, we really started well. We started well down at their place, had a 17-point lead at halftime, have a 20-point lead here. I thought it could have been more at halftime, but when they went man, which is actually what we played them out of at their place, we out-executed their man defense, and we got sloppy with it here. So it was really just a vice versa of things, and kind of the opposite day against them today.
Some of the players I thought really contributed in that first half. Certainly Ashley Lane kind of forced into doing more of the ball handling duty than she normally does, with Amaya coming off the bench after the injury. But then again, Arian Rumpf and Zanaya Kessler both have really come on the second half of the season, have been real impact players for this team.
They have. I've been amping Arian up all year, and she just keeps on improving. She's the #1 person in the gym all the time, first in, last to leave. And Zai, you know, the one coming back from last year that played a lot of significant minutes and put in time for us, and you know, she deserves some success in this program as much as these other girls do, and I'm very proud of her, how she's coming along, getting her mind right.
Now, we were talking about it before the break a moment ago, but the struggles to close games out. We saw that a few months ago, or last month rather, against Florida College. That was a game you guys certainly had an opportunity to win when you had a lead like you did in this one as well. Weren't able to finish that one. As much as the struggle to close the game out presented itself again, you have to be happy with the way ultimately it finished out, where you did get a couple of big baskets late, including that putback by Zanaya that helped essentially put the game away.
Exactly, that was huge. The backdoor play that she had, that was great. It was actually, I was proud of them on that because the play we designed broke down, and they were still able to execute and get a good basket. She's been working really hard, some big baskets, and that's just coming back. I think at that Florida College game, we were making the exact same mistakes we made tonight. But at least tonight we were able to come back and make up for those mistakes by being disciplined.
Yeah, baby steps certainly when it comes to closing out games like this one. That one you didn't close it out. This one you found a way to at least stem the tide and find a way to get out of here with the win. We talked about it before the game. Now you just need 2 more to give yourself an opportunity to play in postseason.
That's very true. Just 2 more wins. We got 2 games left. Tomorrow night's going to be a really big, tough one against Hiwassee. Played them earlier this year. Hung with them all the way to about midway through the 4th. And that was our 3rd game in 3 days to start the year, and we just ran out of gas in the 4th quarter against them.
So a tough game coming tomorrow night, but certainly another opportunity to get a little bit closer to a postseason berth. Coach Caleb Money, thanks for the time tonight, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much, Dave.
71-65 is the final score. That's head coach Caleb Money joining us here at courtside. The Bruins picking up their 5th win of the season, and now we're going to get a chance to talk to our Gateway Pharmacy of Kernersville player of the game. It's going to be Zanaya Kessler. Kessler, who we've talked to a couple of times already this season. But Zanaya really earning that Player of the Game award honor here tonight. Zanaya, can you hear us okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, Zanaya, talk to us about this ball game, because you got off to a great start here tonight. 16-0 was the score early on. You led by as many as 26-5 in that first half. Seemed like from this vantage point, probably your best first half of the season.
Yeah, intensity is all I can say. It took a team to win a game. It took a team to lose a game. We all brought it tonight. I mean, that's all we could ask for, and that's all we could give our coach, our all.
Talk about your effort individually in this game, too, because it seemed like you guys had a real size advantage underneath the basket and really were able to exploit that. A lot of second chance opportunities and a lot of opportunities at the rim for you.
Yeah, pretty much it was, you used to crash, you know, get the rebound, play hard, you know.
Now, Coach Money was talking to us about how frustrating it is sometimes that the team's not been able to close out these kind of games where you've had these leads. I brought up the Florida College game last month. That was a game you guys led by as many as 20, but weren't able to finish that. Now, as frustrating as it's been not to be able to close these games out, ultimately being able to win this game, even though you let the lead get away a little bit, had to feel satisfying for you, right?
It was real satisfying.
And talk
for
about
the team as well.
Yeah, certainly. Talk about that play at the very end, though, because that basket that you had on the putback was pretty much the one that put it away. Talk about how good it felt to get that one to go down and put this game away.
I mean, it took one good pass, and that was Mo. I mean, I had to finish. Even though I missed the first layup, I had to make sure I got the other.
Had to stick with it. Congratulations on the win. You finished with 17 points tonight, matching the team high with Ashley Lane. Congratulations on the win tonight. And now I know you guys have a couple of games left and a couple more opportunities to get yourself into postseason, including a big one coming tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Best of luck tomorrow night, Zanaya. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
17 points for Zanaya Kessler, our Gateway Pharmacy of Kernersville player of the game, as the Bruins pick up the win here tonight, 71-65. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a timeout, and we will sign off from tonight's first game of tonight's doubleheader, and we'll get set for game number 2 of the doubleheader. It is the Bruin men getting set to take on the Bulldogs from Pfeiffer University, coming up here in just a little bit as we continue with our coverage of tonight's doubleheader here on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live. Again, a reminder, the final score tonight in the women's game, 71-65. I'm Dave Shook, Mason Cox, our engineer, producer, and cameraman here tonight. Brought you all of tonight's play-by-play action. Make sure to switch over for game 2. It's the Bruins and the Bulldogs coming up on the men's side here in just a few minutes. You heard it all right here on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
Sacrifice. Ambition. Loyalty. Pride. Drive. Unity.
That's what it takes to be a Bruin.
Oh, 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 oh.